Republic restored by GCR on May 29, 2025. In March 2020, the United States began a quiet but radical transformation. The Federal Reserve, once an independent institution, was effectively nationalized. Through legal mechanisms such as special purpose vehicles, the Treasury assumed operational command. From then on, no liquidity action could be taken without direct authorization from the Secretary of the Treasury. The result was clear: authority over currency issuance now reports to the White House. On Monday, May 26, 2025, the quantum financial system, known as the QFS, officially went into operation. With the Fed now subordinate to the Treasury, the old IRS gone, and the gold standard in place, the new system mirrored all bank accounts, tracking transactions in real time under the protection of Space Force and military-grade blockchain technology. Sources close to the government and the media confirm that emergency broadcasts and official announcements are ready to be activated at any time. Tests of the Emergency Broadcast System, EBS, have already been detected in several regions, suggesting that a large-scale broadcast could take place between today and tomorrow. Central banks and finance ministers are on standby to speak publicly. The messages should emphasize transparency, national sovereignty, and the end of the old centralized financial model. Monitoring panels indicate that the QFS is completely stable, processing load simulations without failures. Traditional exchanges and currency markets are already adjusting to operate on a new basis: real assets. New exchange rates could be published within a matter of hours. On Tuesday, May 28, information circulated on the Alliance channels confirming that Operation Phoenix is underway. Under the coordination of former President Donald Trump, cyber military units have begun the digital blockade of strategic financial centers. Banking structures in Switzerland, the United Kingdom, and Japan are now under direct surveillance by the Alliance. Central bank digital currency networks, or CBDCs, have reportedly been compromised by structural flaws caused by their own developers. In the Middle East, sources report that the Iraqi dinar already has a defined international rate. It will be gradually adjusted in the market over 3 to 4 days, with settlements starting between June 5 and 9 for Tier 4B participants, the tier of individuals connected to humanitarian projects and asset redemptions. The public call for appointments will be made between June 10 and 13, and minor banking interruptions are expected between June 15 and 16, signaling the final transition. And to better understand each phase, we will explain for those who have recently arrived here on the channel. Summary of Gesara and NESARA Tiers 1 to 5. Tier 1. Governments and Historical Assets. Who is part of it? Agreed governments of the 209 countries participating in Gesara. Mission: repatriation of historical assets backed by gold. Action: governments aligned with the sovereign and fair transition of the new system. Tier 2. American and Chinese farmers. Who is involved? Farmers who had their money withheld via government-issued bonds, e.g. LTN, TDA, Super Peticilli. Mission: compensation and settlement of historical debts not paid by the previous banking system. Tier 3. Military, war heroes and governments. Who is involved? Veterans, generals, colonels, and admirals on mission. Mission: asset recovery, arrests, and protection of the transition, serving humanity and the liberation process. Tier 4. Asset owners and Internet group. Divided into 2 parts. 4A. Banking institutions and financial managers. Adapt the banking system to the QFS, quantum financial system, and the ISO 20022 protocol, validating currencies based on mineral assets. 4B. Internet group and asset owners. These are the guardians of historical assets, many of whom have dedicated decades to this mission. They are now ready to participate in the monetary redemption and revalidation (RV) process. This group includes commissioners, managers, and spreadsheets, who will be called in a staggered manner, according to the criteria defined by the Gesara protocol. Each participant will follow specific steps, respecting confidentiality and absolute secrecy agreements. In addition to the change in financial standards, a profound transformation in the social and human behavior of these individuals is expected, marking not only a transition in economic class, but also in collective consciousness and responsibility. Tier 5. Humanity. Who is part of it? All global citizens. Mission. Through the Gesara humanitarian project, the following occurs: elimination of abusive debts, redistribution of wealth, beginning of a new era of prosperity, health, and sovereignty. Result: notes and coins backed by gold, silver, precious stones, and historical assets, as well as advances such as physical healing technologies, such as the medbed. Starting on June 14th, the public phase begins, in which humanity begins to understand what and how the new system will be implemented, with redemptions released according to the readiness of each region, in due time. Sources from the QFS advise: if you notice short periods of bank inactivity during this period, don't worry, this is the final migration to the new system. The collapse of the old financial model is visible. Reports confirm that financial institutions are being dismantled, gold and silver reserves are being accumulated, and banking authorities are being quietly replaced. The International Monetary Fund is facing a loss of authority, and the SWIFT transfer system is already showing signs of collapse. The implementation of the Gesara Act is underway. The recent resignation of the head of the U.S. Internal Revenue Service, without a replacement being named, is an indication that the previous tax system has been deactivated. Income taxes are being replaced by fair consumption taxes. We are now in Phase 2 of Gesara, focusing on wealth transfer to the civilian population. Citizens with biometric validation are receiving notifications to appear at redemption centers for each stage. These meetings will involve debt cancellation, asset revaluation, and registration in the quantum identity system. This is the end of one cycle and the birth of another. We are witnessing, in real time, the collapse of the centralized system that dominated for centuries, and the emergence of a model based on sovereignty, justice, and abundance for all. We are crossing the threshold of a new reality. The old system is crumbling before our eyes, while a new model of prosperity, sovereignty, and global consciousness emerges. This is not just a financial milestone, it is the rebirth of humanity. We thank our subscribers, friends, and fellow travelers. See you in the next video. And for those of you who have just arrived, sit at home. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hugs.